Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV's on live bulletin. Voting for the by-elections to 5 assembly constituencies in Assam was completed on the 13th of November to decide the fate of 34 candidates. Elections were held in Dholai SC seat, Sidli ST seat, Bongaigaon, Behali and Samaguri assembly constituencies, as these seats fell vacant with the representatives of them winning the Lok Sabha elections. Altogether, 34 candidates were in the fray, with most of them being first-timers according to the Election Commission of India data. Around 9,000 polling personnel were engaged to ensure the smooth elections across 1,078 centres in the 5 seats, where more than 9 lakh electors were registered to cast their votes. Of the 5 seats that went to polls, only one was with the Congress earlier, while the remaining 4 were represented by the BJP-led alliance. Presently, the ruling BJP's strength in the 126-member Assam Assembly is 61, while its allies AGP has 8 MLAs and UPPL has 6. In the opposition camp, the Congress's strength is 26, AIUDF has 15 members, BPF has 3 and CPIM has 1 MLA. Also, there is an independent legislator. And according to the Election Commission of India data, as to 5 p.m. on the 13th of November, 73% voter turnout was recorded in these 5 assembly constituencies that went for the bypolls. And at the moment, we are being joined by our correspondent from Silchar, or rather Brak Valley, Mr. Anirudh Laskar, who will be giving us more updates as to how the counting process is going on, and also we will try and find out if there is any discrepancies or rather disturbances in this counting process. Good morning, Anirudh. Thank you so much for joining us on this on live bulletin. At the moment, we see the Election Commission of India's pre-data that shows that it is the BJP that is leading in all of these 5 seats. And what is the moment there? How is the atmosphere there? Has there any disturbances being reported in any of the counting sectors?
Akivita, good morning. First of all, you see, counting for the 5 assembly seats in Assam started around 8.
Yes.
In some constituencies, the counting has, counting is going on in a rapid pace.
Yes.
But in others, it's quite slow. For example, in Silchar, it's around 6-7 kilometers from Silchar town. There is a place called Interstate Bus Terminus where the counting process is going on for the Dholai by-election seat.
Yes.
And their typers were going on quite slowly early in the morning, even after 1.5 hours of by 10 itself, they were in the first round was only going on, and we were not getting any updates. So there was a slight scuffle with the media people also, and along with the district administration. We were saying that why there is a delay in delivering the figures that is coming out, while in other parts of Assam, 4th round or 5th round have started. So there was a tussle, but later on with the talks with the Deputy Commissioner and the SP, the media were convinced that things would be in a right direction. You see, in Dholai, as of now, after 4th round, BJP is leading. The same is the scene in Sidli as well as Bongaigaon, where the alliance partner UPPL and AGP are leading. The fight is going on in Behali, but in Behali also, BJP is leading by a margin of more than 5,000 votes. And a tough competition is going on in Samaguri, where MP Wakibul Hussein's son, Tanjil Hussain, is contesting. And in every round, it's a seesaw battle. Once it goes towards the Congress and once towards the BJP. That is a scene right now in all the 5 assembly seats. Akivito.
All right. So, Anirudh, since you're there in Dholai, let's get back to the 13th of November, because on that particular day when the voting was there, you had spoken to both the candidates of the BJP and the Congress. In the BJP's candidate, in the conversation that you had with the BJP candidate, he was Mr. Nihar Ranjan Das, and you spoke to him very particularly about one factor, which was that he's an outsider. But coming back to the matter as to the Dholai, particular concerns of Dholai constituency, he said that he would work for overall development. While on the other hand, when you spoke to Mr. Purkyasta of the Congress, he spoke about how Silchar, or rather Dholai constituency during the flood is really hampered, and a lot of people's life gets affected due to the floods and due to the conditions there, especially the roads. So on that aspect, when you spoke to people on the ground voting, what are the major concerns for the Dholai constituency, and do you believe that the promises that these two legislators or these two candidates have met, do you think that will be met at the end of the day?
You see, Akivito, there is a tough contest. In fact, the rounds, there will be total number of rounds. There are 14 tables and 15 rounds to go on for this count. So it's just fourth round is going on.
Yes.
And inside, so very hard. The difference of the counting of votes till now has been done, and the BJP candidate is leading not more than 5,000 votes in Dholai state. And on that, I spoke to many people, and they're really looking for a change. And they were saying they're not happy with how things are going on in Dholai constituency. More things are needed to be done in Dholai itself. There is a scarcity of drinking water facilities. There is scarcity of medical. So these things would be needed to be addressed. And Purkai, so he's a candidate who hails from that Dholai itself.
Yes.
And he was born there. He studied there. He grew up there. That's one factor. And Nia Ranjandas is from outside.
Yes.
And that factor, how much it will influence the voters, only after the counting is over, we will be able to know.
All right. Also, another interesting contest is going on in Sitli, which is a contest between three parties. Unfortunately or fortunately, the India bloc has also placed its candidate there, and the candidate from the India bloc, from the Congress, is going against the UPPL, which is currently in alliance with the BJP. How do you think, and what are the trends showing in Sitli too? Do you think that the division in the India bloc voters will give an advantage to the BJP, or rather the UPPL, which is an NDA alliance?
You see, in Akivito, UPPL is sitting, they are the powers, they are in power in the BTC. So they have got quite a big influence out there. And in fact, BTC has done a lot of work, development work in the areas of borderland. And that is why UPPL winning that seat is almost certain. They won't face much of a tough fight. What is with the margin at the end of the day, we'll be able to know. But UPPL is going to win that seat. The same is the case with Bongaigaon. There were questions of, for Ponibushan Chaudhary's wife contesting from that place. And she is also doing well. She's at the moment leading by a margin of more than 11,000 votes. Akivito.
All right. Also, now coming back to the constituency that was in the news, or rather made headlines, is Samaguri, where Mr. Rakibul Hassan has put Hussain has put his son Tanzim Hussain going against BJP candidate Deeplu Ranjan Sharma of the BJP. Well, if you look at history, or if you look at the past, this seat in Samaguri has always been held by the Congress, or rather the AIUDF. Do you think there's going to be a change? And also, with all the violence that was reported before the elections took place on the 13th, do you think that this is an hot spot for controversy?
Yeah, it's true, Akivito. You see, the BJP, before the election started, while they were campaigning, they were saying that everybody is saying that Samaguri will go to the Congress, but wait for the final results. Everybody can see that BJP will win that seat. So it will, at the end of the day, we'll be able to know what exactly is the figures comes out. But if BJP wins that seat, it will be an added bonus for them. Akivito.
All right, so Anirudh, on this aspect, the Assam Assembly elections is slated to be held in the year 2026. This is 2024, and in a few months we will be heading to 2025. But is this a final chapter for what is going to happen in 2026? And do you believe that the voting pattern, or rather the results that are declared today by the end of the day, and also the winning candidates, and do you think this is a trend that all political parties in Assam would need to inspect, regulate, and also have an introspection as to their campaign and how they move forward to 2026? Do you think this would be a semi-final, or another chapter to what is going to happen in 2026?
Exactly, Akivito. You see, in what is happening right now in the 5 assembly seats of Assam will shape the future of 2026 election.
Yes. Because
there is one factor would be there is the incumbency factor, which the Congress would like to, take major chance for that. And not only is there is a wave going on for a change. People are asking for that. And this election will set the tone for 2026. From Upper Assam to Lower Assam, the Congress is battling, is fighting. Gaurav Gogoi might be the face of the Congress for the 2026 election.
Yes.
He has campaigned very hard in Bihali. And what is the result that comes out by the end of the day will also shape the next step the Congress is going to take, the challenge that they are going to take against the BJP in 2026.
All right, so Anirudh, so in another aspect, since you are a resident of Brak Valley and you are a resident of Silchar, I mean, if you look at all the northeastern states, when these states go to polls, there's always one trend. But in Assam, the trend seems to differ when it comes to Assam and also the Assam of Brak Valley of Assam. Why do you think there are such big differences? Is language a major barrier to how the trends take shape in the way people vote in Assam, especially if you take a look at Brak Valley and the other parts of Assam?
Actually, you see, but I would like to take you back to our viewers back to 1991.
Yes.
BJP in Assam came in 1991. Before that, they had no standing. In 1991, from Brak Valley itself, which at that time had 15 seats, 9 candidates won and went to the assembly. That's when the BJP came in power in Assam, starting from Brak Valley. Out of the 15 seats of Brak Valley, 9 seats went to the BJP.
Yes.
From that time onwards, it moved to other parts of Assam, and not only Assam, it moved to other parts of Northeast also.
Yes.
So right now, that trend is still there in the fight in Brak Valley. Basically, is between the BJP and the Congress since that period. We can say 3 decades for the last 30 years or so. And there has been a direct fight between these two parties. And additional factor that has been the AIUDF. But AIUDF position right now is very big. I'll give it up.
All right. Another factor that the viewers, or rather we wanted to know, is the fact that there are many political parties that are existent in Assam. But at this moment, during the Lok Sabha elections, it was the All India Trinamool Congress party that was really campaigning, and they were really vociferous in their campaign. But in this by-elections to these 5 seats, we don't happen to see any candidates from the All India Trinamool Congress. Do you believe that in the 2026, the All India Trinamool Congress could also seep into the Assam Assembly? And do you believe that people are slowly starting to gather support for the All India Trinamool Congress? Because Shushmita Dev has been a very strong leader who has been holding press conferences in Silchar and especially talking about major issues and the differences between Assam and the Brak Valley, even though they are part of the same state.
They're very true, Aki, because in fact these political parties, not just Trinamool Congress, there is the AAP also and Rajar Dol.
Yes.
These parties are making very progress in the field of, setting the tone for the elections which are going to come next. For example, in February next year,
yes,
the first thing that is going to happen in Assam is the panchayat elections. And I'm sure that these political parties like the AAP, Rajar Dol and TMC would definitely field their candidates because they would like to assess before 2026 their standings as to how much they have made inroads into the voters' bank and how much they have been able to influence the voters to cast their vote in favor of these parties. So next, definitely they will contest these panchayat elections, which will be held in the month of February 2025. Akivido.
All right, thank you so much, Anirudh. We will be getting back to you to get further updates as to what the current situation in Assam is, and especially for these 5 by-assembly seats, by-polls that went for the 5 assembly seats, and also we will try and get more updates. Also, coming back to the matter of the fact, talking less about the elections and more about the issue that is happening in Silchar is the Manipur issue. You had sent a report in which SP Kachar Numal Mahata and the SP of Jiribam, Mr. Singh, had a meeting. Could you give us further updates as to what is the current situation in Silchar and what is the security beef up that Mr. Numal Mahata was talking about? And do you see it on the ground, and do you believe that more security forces have been put in Silchar and especially Jiribam too?
Yeah, Akivito, you see, in fact, this sort of, patrolling has been intensified in the border areas of Assam and Manipur. Not only that, there is a coordinated effort between the Jiribam police team and the Kachar police team. because the border areas is very porous, for which the coordinated effort is very much needed. And that is why constantly they are in touch. For intel sharing also, they keep in touch. And that is the reason that there was a meeting held 2 days back at night.
Yes.
And the talks were there between both the SPs of Jiryabam and Kachar. And they discussed many issues, not only intel sharing, even help, logistical help that the Kachar police is giving to the Jiryabam police. For example, Jiryabam is locked right now because they are unable to move towards Imphal,
Yes.
for which they depend upon Kachar for medical supplies or medical facilities, or even the forensic laboratories, to use the forensic laboratories, they need to send out here.
Yes.
And those logistical support and other things, security arrangements and all, are being shared between both the districts, which has been highly appreciated by SP Jiryabam. Akivido.
All right, Anirudh, also another factor, if you look at the incidents where the 6 dead bodies and the 10 Kuki militants, allegedly 10 Kuki militants, we had seen a commotion when the 10 dead bodies of the Kukis were being given, in which the Kachar police had to intervene, and there was also a blank firing going on, and then there was lathi charge too. But then in this incident in which the 6 dead bodies were given to the Meitei people, the Jiryabam Action Committee, somehow there was no news of any disturbances. Was that a little unique to you? Because you were there, you were literally there, you were nearly caught in the crossfire between that incident, and then yesterday when the dead bodies were handed, the 6 dead bodies, do you find that a very unique situation? And why was it that the Manipur police, who was present there in both the incidents, why was there no commotion yesterday, and why was there one when the 6 bodies were being delivered?
Akivido, you see, the picture is very clear. When the 10 Kuki bodies, the bodies of the youths called allegedly militants,
Yes.
were handed over to the people, they didn't want it to be given to Manipur police as such. And in fact, when the same thing happened yesterday, when the people, Meitei people came to collect the bodies, not just 6, total 9, because after this, so 6 of the family were kidnapped, and there were incidents of one youth getting killed in crossfire and 2 others killed by Kukis in 2 separate incidents. So total 9 bodies were handed over to them. So they only protested, and candlelight vigils were also held, not just in Silchar or nearby areas. In Haflong we have witnessed, we have seen in Guwahati, candlelight vigils was going on, and they were opposing to take the bodies back until suitable justice is meted out to all of them. But there was a meeting in Jiryabam of Joint Action Committee, and only after the meeting they decided to take back the bodies, which they did yesterday after following all the rituals, mini rituals that they needed to do. And after that only, all the bodies were taken to Jiryabam. In the vehicles, black flags was fluttering, and cavalcade of cars and bikes took the bodies back to Jiryabam. Akivido.
All right, thank you so much, Anirudh, for giving us the latest updates for the election too, and also the Manipur crisis that is slowly starting to affect the state of Silchar, or rather Kachar. Thank you so much, Anirudh. That was our correspondent, Anirudh Laskar, who is our correspondent from the Barak Valley, or rather Silchar, and he just gave us the updates that the BJP is currently leading in most of the seats, or rather in 4 seats of the 5 assembly constituencies that went for bypolls on the 13th of November. Well, there is a lot of trends that need to be kept in mind, but our correspondent Anirudh had also mentioned that these elections to the 5 assembly seats, or rather the bypolls to these 5 assembly seats, could be a trend, or rather could be an indication to what could happen in the Assam assembly polls that is to take place in the year 2026. Well, Hornbill TV will be getting you further updates on the Assam bypolls elections. The counting began today at 8 a.m. and the trends will show until unless there is a result. Well, Hornbill TV will be getting you all the updates, so stay tuned to Hornbill TV.